Tonight on Sports Desk, it's time to get back on track. Our In the Trenches crew will break down what the Canes need to do to get back in the winning column.
Plus, friends reunited. We'll tell you about a former team who gathered for their annual reunion and reminisced about great memories on the field.
And later on, land or water? Why not both? Find out how one cross-country star is making her mark one dive at a time. All that and more.
Sports Desk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching Sports Desk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching Sports Desk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching Sports Desk.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm Manny Nacarado.
And I'm Olivia Howell. We're ramping up for a weekend filled with Canes sports, and there's a lot to get to today.
For sure, Olivia, but before we look forward to what's ahead, let's take it back to last Saturday in Chapel Hill. The Miami Hurricanes traveled up to the Tar Heel State to face off against 12th-ranked North Carolina. Let's take a look at those highlights. It's Miami here in the first now. Tyler Van Dyke is going to drop back, and he's going to take a big lick here and find Jacoby George with a big strike to get his first touchdown on the game. But Drake May looking to answer, finds Devontae Walker. Boom! Walking into the end zone for a Tar Heel touchdown. Walker has been putting the pressure on the Canes all day. And here's Drake May dropping back again and finds again Tez Walker walking into the end zone. This was his first game back of being eligible for the first time this season. Now Omarion Hampton's going to put the winning touches on this one as Miami's going to lose to North Carolina with a final score of 41-31. They face Clemson Saturday.
Following Miami's loss to North Carolina, they're looking to transform their losing streak into a winning streak. Our In the Trenches crew is here to discuss what changes the Canes need to make to tame the Tigers at Hard Rock this week. Guys?
Thanks, Olivia, and welcome everyone to In the Trenches. I'm your host, Wrigley Court, joined by analyst Andrew Klein. Let's get right into it. The Canes were looking to rebound after a tough loss at home against Georgia Tech, but they could not take down the Tar Heels, and it really started with penalties, Andrew. Now, the Canes had 7 penalties for a little under 70 yards. That's actually below their season average this year. They are averaging over 77 yards just on penalties this year. That is not how you win football games. But even worse, the UNC Tar Heels, they had 14 penalties for almost 150 yards. The Canes, that's a lot of free first downs for them. That's a lot of free yardage for them. And they could not capitalize, Andrew.
No, Wrigley, Miami couldn't really do anything defensively against North Carolina. They allowed 500 yards of offense in total, over 270 in the air, 230 on the ground. Omarion Hampton had 197 yards. Miami couldn't stop a nosebleed defensively, and you're just not going to win many games on the road when you play like that. But I want to transition over to a few clips from the other day. And these are the two defining moments, I think, for Miami in the football game. The first one, this comes right as the second half was beginning. Here it is. So we got these two safeties are in free coverage. They're in 12. The corners are playing man. Drake May winds back. The corners are where they need to be. The safeties stop after 10 yards. So for Miami, they just have nobody deep, and then there's no coverage over the top. This is a bad play by Tyler Van Dyke. These two guys are on the bottom, but his head is only looking one way. It's at that top part of the screen, and he throws a bad throw into double coverage and gives up the football. Miami turns it over, one of their 4 on the day. It's been a problem for Miami, but they can fix it, and they just need to work on it, keep things simple for Van Dyke in the offense.
Now, Andrew, Miami's going to look to end this losing streak at home against Clemson tomorrow. What can they do to tame the Tigers?
Well, Clemson is always a tough opponent for Miami. Saw it last year, 40-10 win for the Tigers in Clemson. But I'm getting a phone call, Wrigley. Shout out to my boy, Cal Freeman. Last year, he did Cal's calls. So I'm taking Klein's keys. I'm turning it to Klein's calls. This is who I would call to get Miami back on track. First one, I'm getting a ring. 1-800-4-WORD. Move on. It's over. These last 2 games have happened. You just got to go with the flow, move on, and keep going. Number 2, 1-800-PROTECT. Keep the ball safe. 4 turnovers last week for Miami. Can't have that again. One more. I'm getting one more call. 1-800-DEFENSE. It's time to lock up the Tigers. If Miami wants to win, that's what they got to do.
Andrew, it looks like I'm getting a call, too. What's that? Oh, we're out of time. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Now, I don't like to brag, but Sports Desk is home to the king of swag, coming all the way from the A down to here to my AMA. There's no better way to celebrate Friday than with our host with the most, Niles Nassim.
Well, shiver me timbers, it's been below 75 degrees recently, so you can call it a Miami winter. Welcome to the most electrifying segment on TV with me, Niles Nassim, your host with the most. So when you see me on screen, it's time to go behind the post. Look, I'm starting off this segment feeling the exact same way as my enthusiastic brother right here. The ACC network has spun the block, and that comes as no surprise and shock because for the second time this season, the ACC network was back on campus today, showing love to the U before Saturday. And speaking of Saturday, you know what day it is, game day. Despite the shortcomings in Chapel Hill, the Canes will look to climb back up the hill against Clemson, and fans will be rocking at Hard Rock wearing all white, shining bright with all of the lights at 8 p.m. You don't want to miss it. I mean, it's prime time. Baby. Now you already know that I'm hollering for hoops. As basketball season is rapidly approaching, both the men's and women's teams made the top 25. I mean, it feels so good, it makes you want to shuck and jive. The women came in at 25 on the coaches poll, and the men barely missed the top 10 of the AP poll, coming in at 13. Now look, I think this is a good enough spot for them to prove that they can come out and put on a show. But the season starts Sunday, October 29th against TCNJ, who's that, at 2 p.m. and you don't want to miss it. And finally, some things are just bigger than sports. And our amazing volleyball team is an excellent example of that. Let's roll the clip.
I play for research. I play for Granny Grace and Aunt Kristen.
I play for my mom.
Look, I always know that I'm joking on this segment, but here at SportsDesk, we seriously want to recognize all the brave and beautiful survivors during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you for continuously showing your strength and resilience. And so to all of my survivors, be blessed. Don't stress, because you can always find love and support right here on SportsDesk. I'm Niles Nassim.
Miami is taking on Syracuse right now over at the Knight Sports Complex, and our lead reporter Mia Hausman will have all the details. Stick around when SportsDesk returns.
Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
My new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow. And use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action. Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Canes volleyball is coming off a huge road win against Georgia Tech earlier this week, and they are back in action tonight against Syracuse at home. Our lead reporter Mia Hausman is live in the Knight Sports Complex to tell us more. Mia?
Hey Olivia, the Canes are playing Syracuse tonight in the pink out game. The last time these two teams faced off was in upstate New York last season. The Canes swept Syracuse 3-0. Tonight, the Canes are facing the Orange after sweeping Georgia Tech last Sunday in their first ranked win of the season. Following that match, Grace Lopez earned ACC Freshman of the Week, so we can expect her usual dominance on the court in this match tonight. Reporting live from Knight Sports Complex, I'm Mia Hausman.
Thank you, Mia. From the court to the field, Taryn Jacobs and Zach Macer are here to give you all the updates on this week's edition of the O Sports Roundup. Guys?
Hello, SportsDesk fans, and welcome back to another edition of O Sports right here on SportsDesk. I'm Zach Macer.
And I'm Taryn Jacobs. Canes volleyball picked up a huge win against Georgia Tech on Sunday.
Indeed, they did. Well, yes, last year they beat Georgia Tech in the James L. Knight Sports Center complex, and they were ranked at that time. This time around, they did it in Atlanta, and not only did they do it in Atlanta, they swept them. It was absolutely amazing for the Hurricanes. Two of those sets came with a difference of 2 points, so the clutch time play from the Canes was certainly amazing. The woman of the match for me, however, Grace Lopez, the freshman, absolutely killed it on the court with her 22 kills, and she is easily in the running for ACC Freshman of the Year. Now, Taryn, it was another winless week for Canes soccer.
That's right, Zach. Canes soccer took on NC State on Saturday and came out with a result of 0-0. The Wolfpack and the Canes combined for just 5 shots on goal through the entire 90 minutes in that match. And in their next match, which was just last night, they took on Virginia and kept them to a scoreless first half. But the Cavaliers eventually were able to find the back of the netting, and the Canes fell 1-0 to Virginia. But the standout for the Canes all season has been keeper Melissa Dagenet. She picked up her 13th career clean sheet last game against NC State, making her 4th in program history. Also, she's 4th in program history in career saves with 254 saves, and her overall career save percentage sits at 74.1%, which is extremely impressive. The Canes will look to bounce back on Sunday when they hit the road to Blacksburg, Virginia to take on the Hokies of Virginia Tech.
An impressive resume from Melissa Dagenet. But that's all the time we have here on O Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, guys. Going from one current soccer team to one from over 4 decades ago. Jake Baum talked to a group of men who prove that team bonds last a lifetime.
You may be wondering what these men are doing, playing soccer on the UM campus. They don't look like Miami students, at least currently. This game between old friends was supposed to be played at Cobb Stadium, but Mother Nature had other plans. Wet ones.
It was amazing to wake up this morning and see a line of red and yellow and orange, just a strip of weather coming right across Coral Gables, and we're thinking, I don't think we're going to be playing outside.
The inclement weather brought these gentlemen here today to the Carroll Soffer Indoor Practice Facility, where UM football generally holds their indoor practices. But today, it was the home for former UM athletes. These men were members of the UM men's soccer team, one that was active from 1961 until 1984 when Title IX came into effect. The university decided to disband the team, but that hasn't stopped these men from staying connected.
We've all stayed in touch over the years, and we started having a reunion in 2015.
Here we are, thanks to one of our other alumni. He got us all together.
Their presence is so much so that they have even gotten their former coach to come back as well, a true testament to the bond they share.
I'm Brian Killeen. I'm a former player at the University of Miami and a former coach here. I'm back with these guys. They've been organizing this, I think, the 7th year now, and so I try to get back every year.
Despite their years of life experience, they don't hesitate to put their bodies on the line the second they get back on the pitch, just like they did back in their college days.
It's very nice to be together with friends from 45 years ago. We're all acting like 18-year-olds again today. Some of us are grandparents. Some of us have had quite the experience, but this brings us back together.
These guys have stayed strong. You know, they stayed strong together. They've supported one another. They support our program from when we played. I mean, we keep it alive basically by coming back every year.
President of the school, and they ended up changing some things around, and they asked.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Jake Baum.
She's back. Simone Warner stepped onto the pitch with the men's club soccer team and tried to score some goals. See how she did on this edition of Off the Bench.
What's up, everybody? My name is Simone Warner, and welcome to the 2nd edition of Off the Bench. Today, I'm going to be trying out the men's club soccer team. I actually played soccer for 13 years, but I was so bad that my coach told me that I should quit, so I guess today is going to be like a blast from the past. Let's go. The Miami Hurricanes men's club soccer team practices every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m. on the IM fields, and I got to hop in on the action. First, we started with some warm-ups, including heading an imaginary ball. Weird. Once we were all warmed up, we played a game of keep away, which is clearly not where my talents lie. Then, one team member asked me to juggle a ball 3 times, and I'll just let this one speak for itself.
1, a 2, what 2? 1.
Yeah, I gave up on that one. Once the drills were over, it was time for a scrimmage, and at first, I definitely did more running away from the ball than running towards it. But with a little more direction from the team, I eventually got the hang of it. And I even tried a new trick. And even better, I ended the scrimmage with my first assist. And lastly, it was time for some penalty kicks, and after a few failed attempts, the goalies let me put a few goals in the net.
All right, so I'm here with former club president Spencer Henry. Spencer, how do you think I did today?
Soccer's not your first sport. I didn't look like it, but you did pretty well, better than some of my guys today.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So how can people get involved? The tryout process, what does that look like?
Yeah, we have tryouts twice a year, one in September and one in January, start of each semester, and they're open to everyone. You just show up and play.
That's so fun. Well, thank you so much for letting me come play with you guys today. I had so much fun.
Of course, thanks for coming out.
If you want to learn more about their upcoming games or find out more information on how you can try out, follow the Miami Hurricanes men's soccer Instagram at UMiamiSoccer.
All right, so practice just wrapped up, and I had an absolute blast. If you guys want to learn more about Canes men's club soccer, go ahead and follow their Instagram. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go to bed. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Simone. Up next, the AP and coaches polls have released their rankings for the upcoming basketball season. Find out where the men's and women's teams landed on the list after the break. But first, it's time for some trivia. Canes Hoops is ranked in the AP preseason poll, but when was the last time Miami was ranked to begin the preseason? Was it A, 2015, B, 2017, C, 2019, or D, 2021? Stay with us because SportsDesk has the answer when we return.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Friday, guys. It's a pink out I see, but man, first night on the desk, bro.
Oh yeah, thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's been a great show so far. So
doing great. Going to volleyball after?
Oh yeah, I think you might see me there.
Yeah, for sure. Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Thanks for sticking with us. If you guessed B, you got it. In the 2017-2018 season, Miami began the preseason ranked at number 13. The Canes finished at 22-10 that year and reached the NCAA tournament. This is Miami's 4th ever ranking in the preseason poll.
On this week's edition of Athlete of the Week, Tatenda Mukareshija sat down with Canes rower Paige Jacket to discuss life in Miami and how she transitioned from competing in the water to on the water. Tatenda?
Welcome back to this week's episode of Athlete of the Week. I'm your host, Tatenda Mukherjee, and today I'm joined by Paige Jacket from the women's rowing team. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I would love to know, where are you from?
I'm actually from Northeast Pennsylvania.
Wow. What was it like growing up in Northeast Pennsylvania?
The complete opposite of how it is in Miami. I'm from a small town in Northeast PA, a lot of mountains and snow, so just like the complete opposite of here.
Wow. How did you get into rowing then?
I actually started rowing pretty late. I started my senior year of high school. Before that, I swam competitively for 10 years and kind of just made the transition in my senior year and ended up really enjoying it.
Wow. So what has it been like for you being a Miami Hurricane?
It's been great. I really enjoy the team and the program and everything here, yeah.
Wow. So what motivates you about being a Miami Hurricane?
I would definitely say my team. We have some pretty early practices and we all get up together and work really hard towards our goals, and it's really motivating.
Wow. Other than rowing, what is your favorite sport and why?
I would probably say swimming just because I have a background in that, so I really enjoy keeping up with it.
And I know you mentioned skiing. What was it like growing up where they're skiing?
It was a lot of fun. My mom was actually a ski instructor when I was younger, so we did a lot of time on the mountain.
Wow. And what is your major?
Right now, I'm getting my MS in sustainable business, so I'm a 5th-year student.
Wow. And what are your plans with that?
I'm hoping to get into some kind of sustainability consulting afterwards and hopefully move back to the Northeast.
Well, thank you so much, Paige, for joining us. That's all the time we have for today. Remember to be good, and if you can't be good, be safe. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks to Tenda. Whether it's off the beaten path or off the coast of Key Largo, one UM cross-country runner is doing her part on both land and sea. Annie Watson has the story.
Cross-country runner Bianca Bonato has been running from a young age, but it's not the only sport the senior is a part of. When she's not on a run or in the classroom, Bianca works at Grove Scuba and Silent World Dive Center, where she's a scuba instructor certified by the Professional Association of Diving Instructors.
I'm thankful to have a shop that actually supports me in my endeavors as a D1 athlete, so they kind of work around my schedule.
Born and raised in Miami, Bianca finds great joy in the outdoors. Whether it's a 10-mile run in the morning or a deep-sea dive with her students at night, time outside brings Bianca a sense of peace and happiness.
When you're out running for countless miles, even if you're with someone or you're alone, your mind is going or it's completely blank. And sometimes it's very therapeutic, and that's kind of what I love about being underwater too, is like it's very therapeutic in the sense of you're not really listening to anything but you're breathing in your bubbles, and you're able to actually embrace nature and be outside.
After suffering from plantar fasciitis in the off-season, Bianca is back on the competition team, and her hard work has not gone unnoticed.
And she's done a great job of focusing on just getting better from where she is. She's always been very receptive and coachable, and that's something I really appreciate about her.
Her passions for being active and saving the planet intersect in her work with scuba. Pursuing a geological studies major, Bianca's endeavors in scuba align with her goals after graduation.
I'd really like to go teach somewhere like extravagant, maybe off the little islands, maybe the Maldives one day. I would love to do something like that.
While she might be closing one chapter in her final season in competitive cross-country, another chapter might be opening, where Bianca helps to save the world one dive at a time. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Annie Watson.
With college basketball season set to tip off next weekend, the AP poll has released their preseason rankings. Let's hear from Jordan, Michael, and Annie for more on this week's edition of Hurricane Hang Time.
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Jordan Cirillo, joined by Michael Muela and Annie Watson. The men's college basketball AP poll was released earlier this week. Mike, where did Miami fall on this list?
Well, Jordan, surprisingly to a lot of college basketball fans, Miami falls in at 13th on the preseason AP poll, despite reaching their first Final Four in program history by taking out top seeds Houston and Texas. But they're not the only ACC squad to make that list. They join Duke, who comes in at 2nd, and North Carolina, who comes in at 19th. But over the course of the season, look for Miami to prove why they're more than capable, of earning a higher seed throughout the season.
A few weeks ago, we mentioned the loss of starters Jordan Miller and Isaiah Wong. Who can step up and replace them, and what does Miami's starting five look like for the 2023 season?
Canes fans should definitely keep an eye out on Bensley Joseph. Now, he's been more of a bench player, as like a backup role player for Miami over the last couple of years. Got some starts late last season, so look for him to kind of step up and fill that dominant backcourt alongside Nigel Pack. But Coach Larinaga, also brings in FSU transfer Matthew Cleveland to the roster, and the Canes also return 3 starters in Norchet O'Meara, Wilga Poplar, and Nigel Pack.
Annie, who are the projected starting 5 on the women's side of the ball?
Well, Jordan, expect Jasmine Roberts and Jalea Williams to step up again this season, as they're both consistent starters for Katie Meyer's squad last year. The void left by Destiny Harden and Haley Cavender in that forward position, however, is likely to be filled by Latasha Lattimore, who's coming back from an ACL injury, and 2 sophomore forwards who got some reps last season, Kyla Oldekert and Lazaria Spearman. All 3 of these forwards should expect their minutes and games played, to skyrocket this upcoming season, as they could very well be in the starting 5.
After taking a look at the women's college basketball AP poll, Canes fans were surprised to see Miami did not make that list.
After making it to the Elite 8 for the first time in program history, it was quite a shock to the system to not see Miami in that list. However, the coaches poll has the Miami Hurricanes women's squad at number 25, so kind of an underdog mentality could be the icing on the cake for this team to dominate the season and maybe make it into the AP poll later on this winter.
Exhibition matches will start up next week for both teams. Well, that's all the time we have left for Hang Time today. Let's send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, guys. Still ahead, the MLB postseason has been full of many memorable moments. And later on, we'll take you to Chase Field to see the climatic end of the Diamondbacks versus the Phillies. Don't go anywhere.
you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you think of sports, you probably think of football, basketball, or baseball. Mia Hausman is giving us a look at a more unconventional sport that's taking colleges by storm.
For many, playing video games is an escape from reality, a separate world. At universities around the country, they've evolved into club sports complete with practices and competitions.
When everything was getting shut down and everybody's trying to figure out how they can reinvent their programmings online, the esports really didn't miss a beat on college campuses. Anything leading from League of Legends to Rocket League to Overwatch, even the more traditional games like your FIFA and your Maddens are your esports.
The team at UM practices 3 to 4 times a week, in their dorms, apartments, or wherever a controller is.
And then after they play or have practice, they do video reviews, VODs, and so they replay, and some have coaches that help them.
I know we try to take more of a competitive kind of aspect of it. Our main goal is to just have fun and enjoy what we're trying to do.
UM's team is part of a league which schedules matches for different game titles. All the gamers have to do is be in front of their setups at the designated date and time.
The teammates I've had, they've been super positive, and I think that's what contributed to our success so far.
For someone who struggles with Mario Kart, my attempt at Rocket League left much to be desired. Needless to say, esports are harder than they look.
I feel like there's always room to just try something new, and I think something like this could just make someone happy.
For UMTV, I'm Mia Hausman.
Thanks so much, Mia. Trailing in the NLCS 2-0, the Arizona Diamondbacks hosted the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 3, which came down to some late-game heroics. Let's head over to Chase Field to take a look. Bottom of the 9th, game is tied at 1. Craig Kimbrell fires a pitch into Ketel Marte smacks a ball into center field, knocking the winning run as the D-backs win it by a score of 2-1, and they celebrate with one another in the outfield. They now trail the Phillies by 1 game, and Game 4 will be played tonight, with first pitch set for 8:07 p.m., and that is your play of the day.
Over the weekend, the Hurricanes volleyball team upset number 11 ranked Georgia Tech on the road, and with that big win came a big celebration. Let's take a look. And as the Hurricanes are waiting to get the final kill, look at that team run onto the court and celebrate a huge upset. I mean, this is what college sports is all about. Big upsets, great team celebration here. Look at Coach Keno in the locker room, vibing, having a blast. And the Miami Hurricanes picked up a big win for women's volleyball. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today of this week's episode.
But don't worry, we'll be back here again next Friday. So stay safe and have a good night.